Oh baby. Oh baby, it feels good to be able to review an actual good exotic. An actual exotic that I want to get my hands on, and I can't. Vampire's Caress will instantly give you a little chunk of HP every time that you melee an enemy. Every single time. You don't need a charge, you don't have to kill them, you just punch them in the face and you get a little bit of health back, as well as melee, grenade, and class ability energy. It seems to be about 1 second off the cooldown, but if you're punching things 5 or 10 times, that starts to add up really quick. This is an all-around great exotic for pretty much every activity out there. Regardless of what subclass you're playing, the Karnstein's Armlets are going to have a lot of value. I would argue that on the Devour Voidwalker, you might not care as much about the healing, but the cooldown reduction is not something to sleep on. Now, the cooldown reduction is it's an active effect. You have to run up and punch things, where something like Eye of Another World, you're going to constantly have that bonus. You're constantly getting those cooldowns reduced. So, it does take a little bit more effort to do this, but it feels good when a bunch of thralls or dregs run at you and you just start punching, you just start slapping, you just slap the booty, baby! You just slap it, and you get your health back, your cooldowns back. It feels good. Is this OP? I mean, in PvE, it's extremely strong, but who gives a shit? You want to feel strong in PvE. If you want to run in against a bunch of enemies and punch them and get your health back, do it! And it's going to feel good. You're going to get your cooldowns back. Karnstein's Armlets feel like a top-tier overall PvE exotic. In PvP, it is pretty good, and there are situations where your health regen will make you come out on top in a 1v1 engagement. If you run a higher armor build and you're fighting someone that's a little bit lower armor, like a pussy-ass hunter, then you will come out on top in some engagements simply because you have more, like, base health and you tank some of the damage they do. It's really hard to test this without custom games, but there were situations where I just kind of dove in on them and started punching, and I came out on top, and I could see my health coming back. I mean, when you throw something like Devour in there, you can do some pretty stupid shit. If you have any sort of melee range bonus like the Stormcaller, you can win some engagements with those melees. Absolutely. But I would never consider this thing OP, because in most situations, especially if someone shot a gun, or there's been a grenade throw, or any sort of damage is already on your character, you're not going to tank through with this healing. You're not going to come out on top and abuse the Karnstein's Armlets and win games. If you both run into each other, no one is shot, no one's grenaded, and you just start punching each other in the face, yeah, you might come out on top. But for the most part, that's never gonna happen because everyone plays like such a pussy in this game, hiding at the back of the map with the Mida multi-tool and their 3 best friends holding hands, sucking each other's dicks, that you'll never get to melee them. Overall, I think this is a fun exotic to use. I think in PvE it has a lot more value than PvP, but it can do some good stuff in PvP. I think that the overall value of this thing, what it can do to your cooldowns, the fact that you can get health and tank enemies in PvE, and sometimes win engagements in PvP because of it, I would give this, honestly, like a 7 or 8 out of 10 minimum. Hell, I might even jack it up to a 9 in PvE. It's really good. It's actually very, very good in PvE. I'm gonna give it a 9. In PvP, if you're running at people, it's gonna feel extremely underwhelming, but when it does come in clutch and you do survive a fight because of it, it feels pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty damn good. So, if you're anything like me and you can't get this armlet, I'll be holding a 1-hour-long crying session at the back of the tower while we cry and hold each other's hands and exchange sad stories about how we can't get this fucking arm piece. Until then, I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.